Candyman. 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 What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I'm a Candyman.
It's a banana. You're not Candyman. I said his name. Let's talk about it. Alright folks, so I have just of course watched both Candymans. Actually today, I'm recording this on Monday, August 29th. And I watched the first one this morning. And I watched the new one today, afterwards. So let's compare them. Let's talk about what I liked in both, what I didn't like in both. Which I prefer. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the first. It has a pretty great opening. Just a pan over the city really serves almost no purpose, but it's cool nonetheless. The score is absolutely excellent in both films, but especially the first, I feel like it's highlighted and it's great. The story is not the most original. You have a sort of a reporter or someone interested in the mythology going after it, sort of getting themselves roped into it. In the first one, that is. Also in the second, but it's definitely a little different in the second. If you've seen it, you know why. But the first one's story isn't obviously the highlight of it by any means. Folks, neither Candyman film is particularly scary. I don't say that as a bad thing, but I just think it's interesting. They have a few jump scares, but beyond that, I think they do try to focus more on the story than any particular scares, especially in the first. Something I really appreciated about the first Candyman that I read in some interviews and whatnot about the film is that they were really trying to go for, I think the director described it as a romantic character. And they don't mean obviously literal, but they mean more of a figure like Dracula. Not a Michael Myers, not a Freddy Krueger, but someone who is of powerful stature, who is sort of respectable, obviously not the best word to use, but you get what I'm saying, and sort of that fascinating figure that is a lot more graceful than perhaps your typical horror villain. And in the first one, they excel in that regard. So folks, so the first Candyman film, I don't have a whole lot more to say. The story isn't the greatest because they go down sort of the character's insane route. No one really believes her. And it's well done. It is a well-made film, one that I appreciate, one that I liked watching, one that I'm glad I watched. And again, I'm not the biggest horror movie fan, but as far as horror movies go, this was a good one, even, I would say. But I still think I would probably give it a B. I think I would give the original Candyman a B, just because it didn't do too much to wow me, per se. It wasn't bad, but, you know. Now let's move more into the second Candyman. It's a good movie. I think in particular, the main thing that I really liked about this one, which I'm glad because I'm mispronouncing, but I think Nia DaCosta directed the 2020 Candyman, and she is directing The Marvels, which is an upcoming Marvel movie. Interested to see that. Also starring Tiana Paris, by the way, who's in this film. She's Monica Rambeau in the MCU, but the direction in this film is superb. There are so many scenes where it's just on point. They add a lot more visual flair, a lot more style to the movie. You can tell that she was definitely allowed to be very creative with the filmmaking techniques, and I appreciate that, and I think it paid off a lot of the time. I will also say, and this is a bit of a spoiler, so if you haven't seen this film and you want to, click off, but I really appreciate as well the tie-ins to the original. Because I had seen it first, of course. Both the story, they don't tell the story as it happened in the first one because obviously that's not how the public would view it, so that's certainly an interesting choice. But also the fact that, again, spoiler, our main character is the baby from the first film. That's just obviously an interesting narrative to continue it off of. Yeah, I appreciate that. Of course, beyond that, the acting is great. You have the more social justice elements, which I think are well done. I see some people complaining about them. I really didn't bother me too much. And sort of it updates everything for a modern age. And I don't just mean the filmmaking techniques, I mean the story as well. The area that it's set in, which is of course a very integral part to Candyman. I forgot what it's called, man. It's whatever. It's the projects. I forgot the name. I'm so sorry. But it's been updated to reflect what a modern version of it probably would be, as a result of political decisions, as a result of the changing of the times, and it's an interesting commentary. I will say though, and this is I think one of the main criticisms of the film, that the ending feels very rushed to get to. Doesn't necessarily feel earned. You can sort of see it taking its path there, but there's really like 2 scenes in the span of 5 minutes that wrap up the entire thing. And then they throw a bit of a shoehorn message in there at the end that isn't subtle compared to, some of the stuff throughout the film besides it. And it really leaves a sour taste in the mouth, unfortunately. Look, folks, I enjoyed both films, obviously. I like this one. I like the updated one. And I think I liked it more just because of the style. In terms of which is a better horror film, I might go the first. In terms of which is a better story, I might go the second. In terms of which is better directed, there's not a doubt in my mind that it is the second, and I think I generally had a better time with the second, but they are very close to me. Candyman 2021 is going to get a B from me as well. They both were good movies. I enjoyed both. I'm glad I watched both, especially not being a horror movie guy per se. I'm pleased with that. I was impressed with both. Yeah. Glad that I watched both. Alright folks, if you've seen either Candyman or both, let me know what you thought about them. Tell me what you prefer if you've seen both. I'd be interested to see that. Trying to see those opinions on the internet because I haven't actually seen a lot. But folks, if you've watched the second and third as well, let me know because poor you. Okay folks, I've been in Peace Reviews. I will see you next time. And a bee. A bee stung me right there, you see it. Hopefully it doesn't lead to anything. Bye folks, see you next time.
Okay.